From the kitchen. I have 10 viewers. I have 57 viewers. I have 93 viewers. I have 157 viewers. I have 212 viewers. I have 253 viewers. I have 291 viewers. 337, 330, 417 viewers. We have 457 viewers, and I'm going to just count like this for the entire half an hour of this conversation. 580 viewers. Alright, so welcome to my Skype with my dad. You guys can just listen in while I see what's going on in his world. I wonder if I can even Skype while I'm doing this. So, greetings from the kitchen at the studio. We're working on a new record. Today we worked on something that was a mashup of Prince and Wham. So I think I'm going to call it Wince. It's going to be nice. Here at Kensington, which is in West London, it's a uniquely quiet evening because everyone has gone to soccer, has gone to the football game. There's a doubleheader tonight. Everyone here is on the soccer league, so the good news is we have the place to ourselves to be nice and quiet. The bad news is I'm missing my first opportunity to play for the Kensington Kings tonight, so I'll take an apology from my 1,463 viewers for taking away my Wednesday 8 p.m. But it's all good. I've got some questions here, and I'm going to go through them. Snap. I'm turning on the chat room, and that thing looks crazy. Please come to London, Jason. All right, I am in London. Next question. Hello from Costa Rica. Ah, buenas. Jason, will you marry me? No, that's the usual. That's like the guy saying, free bird. Alright, so check this out. So here's some questions. Domo fo show. What do I like the most and least about touring? Well, I mean, even right now when I'm working on the record, it's kind of like I'm touring. But touring is like going to work. But at the same time, it's like being Indiana Jones, like always being in an adventure. It's more fun for me when I'm driving, when I'm in the van, or when I'm kind of in control. I'm on foot, I'm on a bike, I'm on a skateboard. It's like, then you're touring. But if you're just in the back of the bus, I know it sounds glamorous, but if you're just in the back of the bus, you don't really get the sense of the world going by. That's more just like an elevator. You leave a building, you get in the bus, it transports you to the next place. You really kind of miss nature when you're touring. So, I don't know. You create it. You design the tour you want to have. Let's see. Cougar Jen, what new song are you most excited about performing live in the future? There's a bunch. I don't know. There's a song I like called "Who's Thinking About You Now." It's just a nice little handheld ditty you can pass off to a friend. Let's see. I didn't review these questions ahead of time. Alright, can you tell me in 10 words or less how awesomely awesome your shows with DMB at Wrigley will be? The shows with DMB at Wrigley will be awesomely awesome. There you go. Peace in the asks, as you progress as a songwriter, have you noticed a change in your style or writing process? I wouldn't say it's necessarily progress as a songwriter, but the more you do something, I mean, the more ways you have going about pulling it off. You know, the more tools you feel like you might have in your toolbox, things you've acquired over the years. You know, but every time, even though you finish writing a song and you're moving on to the next one, every next song you write, you're still starting from scratch. You're still starting from nothing. So there's a moment there where, I don't know, there's nothing to measure progress because it's the same every time. It's just, you have something, you have nothing, and then you have to create a vomitous something. Hey, has your style of music changed on the new album? I don't think so. I think it's still sunshiny jauntiness. Awesomely awesome sunshine jaunt. Um, are there any special guests on the new album? Yes. How about just yes or no questions from now on? Marcelina asks, is there a chance you'll record some songs of the beginning of your career? Yes. Wizard of Ozma asks, to what do you attribute your unique guitar playing style? No. About life and causes. How do you view your life? Anything you would have done differently? No, I wouldn't have done anything differently. And how I view my life is borderline amazement, borderline beach bum. I view my life as a observer. Whereas one thing I recently discovered in science, the mere act of observing something on the subatomic level, mere act of observing something, that thing that which you are observing will change simply because you are observing it. Therefore, you have this ability to transform something just by you looking at it, sending a certain energy to it. So if you add thoughts to your energy and intention to your energy, then watch out. You know what dreams may come out of your simply observing and having powerful, positive, intentional thoughts at something. The same thing can be seen looking at Dr. Emoto's work. He's the doctor who shared with us, I don't know if he discovered it, but he certainly shared with us what happens to water molecules if you project a positive thought on it. So say I've got a glass of water and I pull out a drop and put it on a glass, and I've written love on the glass of water. So then we look at the molecule of that love-blessed water, and we'll notice that the molecule looks like a snowflake, equally symmetrical, really beautiful. But then say you have a glass of water that has like war written on it, right? You look at the molecule from that, and not surprisingly, the dish, under the microscope, the water droplet will appear unsymmetrical. It'll look more like a mangled amoeba than it will a snowflake. And the same experience can be carried out through positive words, love-filled thoughts versus negative thoughts. So what I'm saying is, I view my life as an observer, one who does my best to use positive articulation and project upon the world a place of greatness filled with nothing but people and creatures who are experiencing their own greatness. A constant rising is what the world looks like to me, and I like that. Meeting you made me smile for a whole week and meant the world to me, says MCAT_15. What impact does meeting us, the fans, have on you? Well, you know, in music, or in any artist puts something out there. When a fan and artist meet each other, when someone admires a painting and the painter's standing by and you have an opportunity to talk about it, the viewer, the listener, has an opportunity to hear themselves or experience themselves in the work, right? So when I meet someone, I instantly know that we have a sense of relatedness, you know, that we have something in common, that we share a similar view, that we like a similar sound. And so meeting people is a great feeling because I feel like I'm meeting people who are operating on my frequency, right? People who are like blood, people who are family. So I don't mind. You know, I've grown to really love that surprise. You know, when I make music, I don't really I don't know who exactly is going to listen. I just intend that, like, I don't know. I don't even want to get into the process because that's just bananas. Widya Nuru asks, what's the best thing about your fans in the world? Do they become an inspiration to write a song? Well, I kind of answered that in the last question. Yes, everyone becomes inspiration, you know. More recently, I've been using, not using, but heck, on all the records, I've looked towards my family to provide some insight and inspiration. Because then I get to see who I am in family, you know, who I am to them, and kind of hopefully am able to realize the situation even more and realize myself even more. Oh, man. Do you ever get stressed or overwhelmed? If so, how do you deal with it? Caddy's Corner. That was the jingle by Caddy's Corner. Do I ever get stressed or overwhelmed with life? Not necessarily. Not really. Like I said, by projecting upon the world, like, you know, positive thoughts, a positive picture, you know, speaking with positive articulation, then you're quick to check yourself when you get stressed. You know, like, it shows up faster for you. Like, wow, why am I going this direction? And usually, being stressed or overwhelmed is you kind of like feeding this story in your head, when really the circumstances around you are probably quite stable and quite safe. So it's a matter of just checking in with yourself, and the more often you do it, the faster it is to clean it up. So I don't really dwell in stress. It usually takes about anywhere from 30 seconds to 30 minutes to knock it out. Sunshine Sasha says, you recently went to Ghana with Free the Slaves. Are there any other causes you'd like to be more active in? You know, recently I've really been saying yes to quite a many organizations that are inviting me to like see what they're doing on the ground. And it was my work with Free the Slaves that really inspired me and kind of introduced me to a kind of strength that I didn't know I had. You know, working alongside James Kofi Annan, who I worked with in Ghana, kind of showed me like, wow, this is what humans are capable of doing, and what one person is actually, how they're actually making a huge difference in people's lives. You know, a real direct impact to their quality of life, to their survival, and to something that was going to impact their entire life. You know, in music, you hope to impact someone's summer, or hope to impact someone's moment, you hope to impact, you know, just something. But to really see this like selfless act, this dangerous act that the work Free the Slaves do, I came home and I had this craving for like dirty conditions. I had this craving to like go make a difference somewhere to someone. I didn't feel like just donating was really going to be enough. And it was around that same time when a friend of mine had visited the Gulf and sent me some photographs, and two friends of mine had visited the Gulf in an effort to do something. And I just raised my hand and said, I'm in. I'm there. And what was odd is, you know, I took my girlfriend. We decided we were going to take a week and go to the Gulf. We want to see a beach that's out of service. We want to be of service to whomever is down there that needs assistance right now, whether it is they need resources, awareness, tools, products, food, clothing. And last night I was listening to people talk about where they're going on vacation and where they're going to take their girlfriends to. Oh, we're going to go to a house in northern Denmark, or I think we might go to Biarritz. And I realized I spent a week at the Gulf, and you know, ever since then I kind of wish I hadn't, because it's such a huge issue. It's so vast. There's so many different nooks and crannies and facets to it, that I came home feeling kind of helpless, kind of disturbed about the massive situation that only has yet to begun, especially environmentally. We haven't even begun to see what the destruction is all about and how it's going to affect us through the years. So the thing that I've come to a conclusion is vote. Like, the next thing you're going to find me getting active on is vote. I want to start a voting drive. This is a non-presidential year, which not too many people vote. So we need all the young people out there voting, vote, vote, vote. And you have to vote for the candidate who is environmentally conscious, someone who wants to go for green energy solutions, wind, solar, algae, biofuels, to basically reduce our dependency on oil so that we can invest in electric cars and all these new technologies and have a green future. Now, if we don't vote for this, then Congress is not going to hear it, and they're going to keep investing in oil and keep investing in nuclear and clean coal. And we might as well just start, using plastic bags and drinking out of plastic water bottles again, because I just get really nervous about a future like that. So vote. It's a really unique year. It's the last thing I'm going to say about it. It's a really unique season. Every representative in Congress is up for re-election, and a third of the Senate, which means we have an opportunity to elect only those who are environmentally conscious, passionate for the environment, for a green future. We can create a crazy new kind of eco-Washington, an eco-friendly Washington, which will get all the products in our hands that will help us to truly sustain life on Earth. Hence the word sustainability in everything that shows up these days. That's all I'm going to say about that. Other questions? KW Hill 552 asks, what is your biggest musical inspiration? What were your favorite bands growing up? I've always been more interested in songs, really. I rarely have artists. That's not true. My throwback, I can throw these bands on anytime. Blonde Redhead, Radiohead. What's up with all the head? Blonde Redhead, Radiohead, Soul Coughing. Recently fallen in love with this album by Midlake. The Shins, Broken Bells. There's a certain kind of Sigaros. There's a certain kind of like mumbly rock, drony guitar band that I love. I also love Blacktop Project. Sean Lee's Ping Pong Orchestra. A lot, the Matson too. A lot of instrumental, kind of surf jazz, funky rock things. But there's things you'll find kind of through all of that. It's just like a certain tone, a certain classic raw quality in the rock and in the hip-hop beat genres. But other than that, I just kind of fall in love with songs, whether it's songs from the 80s, 90s, it doesn't matter. Like a great melody, something you can harmonize to. I'm not really picky. Would I consider going back to my musical theater roots and performing on Broadway? I've thought about this. It would have to be the right project to want to do a show 8 nights a week. Even though sometimes our tours get to be like that, where we kind of get into the flow of things and we'll do kind of repeat chunks of shows, night after night after night, because we find how it flows, much like writing a musical would be. This August, I think like August 25th, you can find me at the Hollywood Bowl with the LA Philharmonic. We're going to do a night of the Gershwins. So I'll be doing 3 Gershwin tunes, which it'll definitely play more like it would if it were Broadway, because these were show tunes. But I'm really excited about doing that because it's in my blood, and it's a departure from what I've been up to recently. Oh, Steph Skinner asks, what has been the greatest moment of my career so far? It's been a constant state of unwinding awe. Every day, there's not a day that passes by where I don't say, and this is what my life looks like. It's usually like when someone walks in the room that I had a chance to work with Willie Nelson back in February, and he walks in the room, and it's just in my head. It's like, this is what my life looks like. I kind of have to pinch myself from time to time. This year was one of those. For the past couple of years, it's been like that. Doing SNL, going to the Grammys, going back to the Grammys, winning some Grammys. Next day, going and working with Willie Nelson. Going to Ghana, going to the Gulf, having a voice for a variety of causes, for celebration. to the magic that is my own community that supports me and that sources me. Where I live in San Diego, I have the most extraordinary men and women, tons of women in this community, strong women who are community leaders who spend their downtime organizing projects, having fundraisers that contribute to local organizations. Pretty much using always our downtime to generate funds or visibility to somebody who needs the help. And basically pulling that off by doing what we love to do. Those who cook, those who paint, contribute paintings, those who play music, and the bloggers blog, and the marine biologists, marine biology. I don't even know what the verb is to act marine biology, but they do that, and it's a good thing. What was the question? Oh, the greatest moment of my career. So yeah, it's constant unfolding. Today the greatest moment of my career is being here in a quiet studio in West London, being able to share these things, sipping on a tea in Pete's mug. Thank you, Pete. Do you have any advice, tips for anyone who is learning to sing? Well, sit up straight, sit on the edge of your chair, dig deep. Now breathe all the way down into your gonads, and then take a deep breath. Allow your shirt to expand. Feel the air fill up your neck like a howler monkey. Then put in some earplugs, not to deafen your ears, but to keep the air as tight as you can possibly can into your face and let it go out high. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But any advice, tips for anyone who's learning to sing? I would sing as much as you possibly can. The more you use your voice, the more you learn what's possible for it, the more you learn how to incorporate other parts of your body into it, because there really is, it really is a full contact sport. So get into it. Don't be shy. Emily_Nacy. What is the one thing, even if everything in the world didn't matter, that you honest to God believe in? It's the one thing, even in the world didn't matter, that honest to God. Okay. I don't know. Recently I've been having these dreams where in the dream I swear that I'm not dreaming. I was on the airplane. Oh, weird. I just flipped on the viewer so I can actually see what I look like. Sorry I didn't dress up for the occasion. This was kind of dropped on me. I don't even like looking at that screen. That freaks me out. What was I talking about? What's the one thing, even if everything in the world didn't matter, that you would honest to God believe in? I've recently been having these dreams. I've been on the airplane, and I dreamed I was at my grandma's making up the bed, saying, I just woke up. This is definitely not a dream. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to London. It was very bizarre. Then I woke up on the plane, totally freaked out. Wasn't sure which world, even this one, if I believe in to be the real one. But then again, I make up, based on the little number down here, that 2,944 viewers are connected here. So let's just take the benefit of the doubt that this is the real reality and move on. But what is the one single most thing I would believe in? Nature, sunshine, whenever I'm in the elements, there's just no kidding yourself. You know, only God can make a tree. You know, when you're surfing, you have to believe in everything that's coming at you, and you have to believe in yourself when you're going to commit to certain situations, because there's no lying about the ocean. Which reminds me, support an oceanic society. Support someone who supports our ocean, because the ocean is the most underinvested thing we have. We've invested more money in the space program than we've ever invested in our oceans. More people have been to the moon than have stood at the bottom of the ocean. And so the thing about this recent Gulf spill is that we don't have the technologies to be underwater. We don't have the technologies to fix and clean and to help, with any type of remediation of this oil spill. So support somebody like the Surfrider Foundation. Support Oceana. Support, support Sea Shepherd. Support Earth Echo International. These are people who care about the ocean, because once we stop caring about the ocean, which we seem to have ignored, the real power of it, that it supplies 70% of our oxygen, if we start cutting off those systems, then we've done a hell of a job with humanity. What else? Yeah, so what do I believe in? I believe in nature. Let's see. What other questions do we have before I wrap this up? Let's switch over to the chat board. Whoa, that moved fast. Jenna Jade, favorite life quote at the moment. Man. Best day ever. That's my favorite life quote. Best day ever, y'all. Again, you project that onto your day. Best day ever. And suddenly you begin to see life through that filter. Like, oh my God, I'm having the best day ever. And you should be able to say, what's the favorite best tea you've ever had? Is this one, because I'm having it right now on the best day ever. What's your favorite hat? It's this one, because I'm wearing it right now on the best day ever. Who are your best friends? It's you guys, because I'm hanging out with you right now on the best day ever. So before I cut off, we are going to be hitting the road. Our first stop is all the way up in Bangor, Maine. I don't even know if I don't know if anybody knows anybody up there or goes to school there. We'll be playing up there somewhere. We'll be at the Life is Good Festival in Boston, early September. We'll be rocking a couple of dates with Dave Matthews at Wrigley Field in Chicago. We'll be at Farm Aid this year. I know we'll be visiting down in Mississippi. We'll be passing through places like West Virginia, Kentucky, London, Ontario, Ottawa, maybe Saskatchewan, maybe Bozeman, maybe Juneau, maybe Mumbai, maybe, maybe the bottom of the ocean. People all contribute, All right, so cool. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to Skype with my dad. Thank you for everybody who submitted questions. All our friends from RKOP. Those are the questions I actually relied on. So thank you guys so much for being a continued loving community who generates thoughts and ideas. Thanks to all my friends at Superforest for creating a rad blog that keeps me up to date with life. Thank you to everybody at Bill Silva for putting this together today. Thank you to the Kensington Kings for being away at football practice so I could have the kitchen by myself. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in all around the world, stopping your day, whatever it is you had to do, watching this safe for work porn. Thanks to my dad for tuning in and letting this be somewhat of a one-way Skype, I would assume. And thanks to my cousin, or my niece, Cheney, my nephew, Alex, my nephew, Hayden, my brother, Chris, my sister, Candace, brother, Craig, what's up, Duty, Stevie-Island.com, who else, T Pretty Man, keeping it jabby on the bike. Alright, I'm going to go back. I got plenty more work to do tonight. Thank you guys so much. Peace.